Hi everyone, let's have a look at another game of Xiangqi Chinese Chess. This is a game from a show match which was played in 2005 in Shunde, which is in the Guangdong province in the south of China. For this matchup, we have Grandmaster Liu Dahua, who is actually playing 10 simultaneous blindfold games. Liu Dahua is known for his playing of simultaneous games, and he actually previously held the record, the Xiangqi record for the most blindfold games played simultaneously, which was in 1995. He played 19 games, winning 9 of them and had 8 draws. And he's also the current holder of the record for the most simultaneous games of Xiangqi, playing 108 simultaneously. And he won 69 of those, drew 30, and was defeated in only 9. Pretty impressive. In this game, we see him playing with the black pieces, and he's playing against an untitled local champion named He Wenxian. Red starts, centralizing his cannon. This comes with a tempo onto black's pawn, but also lines up his cannon with his king, which could play a role later in the game. Black here is kind of forced to develop one of his knights, bringing it out, adding a defender to his central pawn. This also opens up this square here, which the rook might like to occupy soon. Red develops a knight, and black develops his rook as planned. Red follows. Black now develops his other knight, which adds an extra defender to his center pawn. Now red advances his pawn here, and this works to constrict the knight. This pawn can now no longer advance, and this knight, as is the rule in Chinese chess, can't jump over the pawn. Black here returns the favor, constricting this knight from red. If he doesn't, he risks red advancing his pawn and constricting his position too much. Red now moves his rook deep into black's position. And this move restricts black's cannon and also black's chariot. This cannon now can't move into red's position, and if it moves out of the way, he's looking at a trade of rooks here. Black, meanwhile, moves his own cannon, his other cannon into red's position, and this comes with a tempo on this center pawn, which red's able to interrupt quite easily by advancing his center pawn. This cannon's now attacking this pawn, which is defended by the knight. And also, in this position, black can't advance his center pawn, because then red can take, and this will come with check, thanks to this central cannon. So black covers his center with the elephant, freeing up the movement of this pawn. And here red goes for a center break by advancing this center pawn again. However, this move might be a little bit hasty, going for the attack now when currently all of his left-hand side is left undeveloped. And here black centralizes his advisor. In fact, he's probably better off to take this pawn here, since red now has the opportunity to sidestep with this pawn and maintain it here on the other side of the river. But red didn't take this opportunity and instead centralizes his knight. And black's glad for the second chance now and takes the pawn. Red now advances his knight again into black's position, and this comes with an attack onto black's knight. This knight's currently undefended, and actually the knight can't take back because it's still constricted by this pawn. But black doesn't react to this threat just yet, and instead sidesteps with his cannon, now attacking red's currently undefended rook, and also offering a trade of rooks here. But it's not in red's best interest at the moment to go for this trade, since he hasn't developed any of his pieces yet, and so he'd much rather hold on to the rook and sidesteps, now with a tempo onto both of black's undefended knights. But in this position, black actually ignores this threat, which is very impressive considering that this is a blindfold game, and instead he goes onto the counter-attack, bringing across his own rook, coming with a tempo on this knight, and kind of encouraging red now to take his own knight, which red's not able to ignore, and goes for it, now up a full knight. However, now black's able to move in for a counter-attack, coming with a tempo onto this undefended cannon, which red retreats to the defense. of his rook. Black now continues with the attack, bringing across his cannon, and this is check. Red's unable to move his king. The king can only move sideways or up and down, and so he has to block this check with one of his advisors. And Black continues piling on the pressure now, taking Red's pawn, but also bringing this cannon into a much more aggressive attacking position. Here Red goes for a trick to try and get out of trouble, developing his knight. This opens up an attack from this cannon here, but also tries to trap Black into taking his knight, which Black definitely shouldn't do. If you have a look, after Black takes, Red's able to sidestep with his rook, and this comes with a pretty serious threat of mate. If, let's just say, Black makes a random move, coming here, this will be check. He can block with the elephant for one extra move. Again, this is check. His only available option is to block with the advisor. And after Red takes, this will be checkmate. King only has one available square, and that's covered by the knight. And the knight's also defending the rook. A very nice checkmate. So, after Red moves across his rook here, Black would have to block immediately with the advisor. And now Red can move in with his cannon, and there's just a few too many threats going on here, deep into Black's position. So if we come back, after Red advances this knight, Black doesn't go doesn't fall for the trap, and instead brings down his cannon. Red now takes the advantage here and snaps up Black's rook, but Black continues with his attack, bringing down his own rook, and this comes with the threat of checkmate in one. After taking this elephant, the king will be in check and won't have any retreat squares. From this position, Red's got two options. One which doesn't work, which is trying to move his elephant out of the way, but this gives Black a very nice checkmating idea. By bringing his rook back one square, this is check. King can't retreat, and also this elephant is no longer able to come back to the defense as it's blocked by Black's rook here. So Red instead goes for the only other available idea, trying to run with his king, now giving himself this square to retreat to. Black goes ahead, takes Red's elephant, and this comes with check. Red doesn't have any way to block this check, and so he has to move his king out of the way, and now Black can deliver the final checkmate with this cannon here. Cannons are covering both the ranks and the files here. The only way that Red would be able to get out of this attack would be to move his cannon out of the way, but it's currently smothered in between Red's other pieces. Very nice checkmate. A really nice performance there from Liu Dahua. He sacrificed a knight and a rook to build this checkmating attack, and did all this while playing 10 simultaneous games blindfolded. Very impressive, and some brilliant calculations there. If you would like to see some more games of Xiangqi Chinese Chess, or learn more about the game, I've got some links down below for you. Thanks for watching.